we have probably 6 or 7 employees that make over $1 million a year. It's just a different caliber of people, and to be fair, at that level, like, you can demand a lot, you know. And so, like, if I'm bringing in somebody's going to be a C-suite who's going to run this whole function, I shouldn't tell you how to do anything. Like, you should know how to do everything. You should be bringing things I don't know to the table to make this function better. If I have to be giving directives on, like, what the next thing is, or I have to, like, reprioritize your schedule, like, you're not a C-suite. You're barely a director if I have to do that. And so it's people who are exceptional. It's just that it's one of the I think it's one of the realest things of, like, your beliefs about what's possible. One of the biggest ones that changes as you kind of go up is what.
And when you go up, because that is when your perception change, that is when everything changes. Because if you don't believe, if you don't see the vision, if you don't see the outcome, if you don't see the determination, then I don't know what to tell you besides follow the perfect plan.
What you believe good talent looks like. Because, like, I mean, I've said this before, but, like, when I had my gym, I remember hiring my first $50,000 a year employee, and I was like, and that was when 50 grand used to mean something. I hired my first $50,000 employee, and I was like, holy shit, this is what talent looks like. And then I hired my first $75,000 employee, and I was like, oh my God, 50 is nothing. Like, this is the right person. Then I hired my first 6-figure employee. I was like, 100 grand a year. I was like, this guy better cure cancer.
This guy better cure cancer. That one got me good.
$1,000 years, and I was like, oh my God, this is like night and day, like completely different level of talent. Then there's $500,000 a year, then first $1 million, then first multi, and so, like, at every level, you're just like, holy cow. There's just so, like, the level of intelligence, the level of work ethic, the level of experience, and I would say past probably $1 million a year, you're basically bringing on people who also have departments. So it's like, if I bring someone in who's a C-level and up, they have 2, 3, 4 people from the past companies they've worked with that love them, know them, and they bring teams with them. And so,
and when they bring teams with them, that they can either be good, exceptional, or just mediocre. Those 3 things you gotta watch out for: exceptional, mediocre, and good.
and you want that because they've worked at all these companies. They'll cherry pick the absolute savages, and so so if someone were to, like, say, hey, like, let's say I was back on, like, the employee market. If someone said, hey, Alex, can you basically stand up the revenue generating function of this business, I wouldn't go there. I'd be like, well, I'll come, but I want to bring six people with me, like, because, like, for us to do the level of stuff that we want to do, like, I already know who I need. And so that's what it looks like at the higher up you go. They just bring more and more people with them, because they already have the infrastructure and the network and the Rolodex to just bring them in. So that's how they can come in with, like, fully built, almost like solutions to whatever the problem is. Like, I need you to stand up the whole finance. Function for this, these 3 entities, and they're like, well, I have 2 controllers that I'll tap, and I already know what system we're going to use, and I already have the playbooks built out. So it's like they can stand it up so much faster, and our input is like nothing. And so you can judge the level of the talent. Like, the easiest way to know is how general are my directives to the person. So someone can just say, hey, Alex, can you just build out acquisition for this business? And I would say, sure. If I'm talking to somebody underneath, I'd be like, hey, I need you to build out an email campaign, I need you to build out a paid ads campaign. And they'll be like, well, what platform should I start on? I'd be like, I think you should start on Meta, right? So it's like, I have to keep going down. If I go down to, like, maybe a manager or director level, it's like, okay, this is the campaign, this is the angle that we want to look at, this is kind of the copy hooks. Like, I have to go even lower. And if it's like a copywriter at the lowest level, I'm just like, okay, this is the grade level we're writing at, this is the tone for the language. Like, I have to go all the way down. And so you can tell how advanced someone is by how many directives you have to give and the level of the direction you're giving someone. which is also a great piece of feedback, which is like, I shouldn't be telling you this, man. Because a lot of times people are like, hey, I want a promotion. And you're like, that's fine. I was like, but that means that all these things that I'm currently doing for you, I shouldn't have to do. Like if I'm having the tough conversations with your team because you're not able to do them, you're not a leader, right? And so it's like, because half of, especially as people go up in the leadership chain, so much of it is just being able to lead.